and helping both teachers and students. So for instance, MT, which is, as you can see on the screen, these tools have been a common resource for aiding understanding and expression in foreign language. However, we all know that MT can also complicate the learning process while it speeds up on translation, and students can misuse it to feign language skills, especially in writing. So according to some educators like Ducar and Choquette, they suggest that even might the students see dependence on MT as detrimental, but they can caution it's crucial for the work within the reality of MT, as it's going on, it's not going on anyway soon. So now with the rise of AI-driven chatbots like ChatGPT, we're facing similar concerns, particularly around academic honesty and challenges of monitoring students' use of advanced technologies. So we as language educators are aware that tools like machine translation have made our work easier, but they can also enable students to mask their actual language abilities. And that is what ChatGPT concerns came up us with this. So ChatGPT was launched in November 2022 and has taken this a step further by offering not just translation, but generating complex human-like texts in various formats, from essays to computer code. Obviously, we have some benefits when talking about ChatGPT. ChatGPT can be a powerful tool for students. It offers a personalized learning experience that is difficult to achieve in a traditional classroom. It can act as a virtual tutor, explaining difficult concepts and even engaging in a conversation to improve language skills. These benefits can save students time and energy, providing answers more quickly than traditional search engines. Also, when talking about ChatGPT, on the other hand, there are some perceived risks. However, all these benefits I have just mentioned, they come with risks. So academic dishonesty is a growing concern with AI tools like ChatGPT especially, capable of generating entire essays or research papers that are nearly indistinguishable from human writing. And this introduces new avenues for plagiarism and raises questions about how we assess students' work. So unfortunately, detecting AI-generated content is not easy. While plagiarism detection tools like Turnitin are familiar to many of us, current AI detectors struggle with accuracy. They can flag legitimate human writing or miss AI-generated texts, and that have been tweaked to avoid detection. So relying solely on AI detectors might not be enough to maintain academic integrity. So according to some that is something that seems to not be fully reliable, while on the way to establishing if the text was written by a human or generated by an AI. And neither humans or AI detectors prove to be able to detect AI efficiently. Some others researchers have stated that AI detectors are able to identify AI-generated text with high accuracy. So we have both sides of the coin on researchers that we have gone through in order to establish this research we have. So when talking about academic dishonesty, okay, ChatGPT's capabilities even extend to generating personal reflections, making it hard for teachers to prevent its misuse and on assignments and exams, tests. And this undermines the validity of grades and certifications, potentially allowing students to pass assessment without truly understanding the material. So according to law, as you can read here on the slide, ChatGPT has introduced new challenges and overall threats to education, leading to a lot of concerns for us teachers. So to respond effectively to this challenge, we need to understand students' perspectives on using AI in their academic work. While many educators around the world have started integrating ChatGPT into their teaching practices with benefits in their views, other educators have expressed concerns and rejected its use. Obviously, it's understandable because of thinking on dishonest purposes while submitting exams or when generating writings, as it is our case. But the idea is to think of what the students think themselves on the use of AI to generate texts. So this study that we are presenting right now is a study that presents the perspectives of 56 students. That was our sample from Yachay Tech University here in Ecuador, and using data gathered from a survey on the role of generative AI in academic writing. So the aim of this research was to basically investigate Ecuadorian EFL students' perceptions of AI chatbots like ChatGPT in enhancing their English writing with a focus on academic dishonesty. A multiple choice survey explored how students define cheating, why they believe others use AI to cheat, and its impact on cheating rates, and their views on detection, consequences, and obviously prevention. Additionally, the study examined whether students think AI tools can support writing and if they should be used for this purpose at all. So I'm going to pass it to Andrew so he can tell you a little bit more about methods and results. Thank you.
Hello, hello. Thank you, Paola, for doing part one. I'm going to talk about part two, the methods and results section. These were our research questions. I can give you a second to read them. They were previously mentioned basically about academic dishonesty in L2 writing and the consequences and the motivations for using the ChatGPT to write. And then we had more questions that we did a survey. So basically each question was related to these research questions and they're grouped together at the end. And Josie will tell you the findings at the end. So once again, we had 56 participants who responded to the survey. They had a B1 level based on the CEFR. They were enrolled in a university in Ecuador. They had undeclared majors at the time, but they planned on studying STEM, sciences, and the students belonged to two sections of one of the authors' B1 level, which was a required course for these students. So that is the research participants, 56. They took a survey and they're from Ecuador. Okay. The good thing about the number 56 is we had more than 30 participants, and that is an important number to achieve a normal distribution. And the response rate was actually 100%, which was very surprising. There's other studies where researchers will send like 3,000 surveys, but they'll only collect 800, which would be a low response rate. We sent 56 surveys and we received 56 completed surveys and their responses. So that is something to consider. Okay, so here we have two graphs of the age distribution. As you can see, a majority of the students were 18 years old. They're at university, and then my screen is blocked a little bit, but as they get older, fewer and fewer students were enrolled in this class. And then in terms of gender, 31 males, 24 females, and then one person who identified as other when they took the survey. So Now you know about the age of the participants and the gender of the participants. It was anonymous. It was multiple choice. The survey was written in English. It included 24 items. And the point was to assess students' opinions on what constitutes academic dishonesty with generative AI. And it was approved. We have ethical approval, and the survey questions were recorded with the participants' consent, and the questionnaire return rate was 100%. So now I'm going to show you several pie charts or graphs. So for example, question 3, how do you define academic dishonesty involving AI technologies like ChatGPT? So we can see that the majority was all of the above. So what does that mean? Copying and using exact text without citation, submitting AI-generated essays, using a translator to put your Spanish version in English. So all 3 of these characteristics include all of the above, and that was the majority. And then whenever you see other, the participant wrote a response. So they felt like these 4 items didn't constitute academic dishonesty, and then they wrote some other response in the other category. Okay, so that was question 3. Question 7, what are the main reasons someone might use AI technologies dishonestly? So as we can see, 41.1% said pressure to achieve high academic results, followed by 25% of participants saying a lack of confidence in my writing skills. Even less said belief that AI use is not easily detectable, and then over-reliance on technology just for convenience. And then once again, other is the student wrote something in the survey talking about why someone might use AI technologies dishonestly. Question 9, what do you believe are the consequences of using AI dishonestly in your writing? So the risk of being caught and facing academic penalties, hindering the development of my own writing skills, creating a false sense of achievement, and then the majority, 42.9%, said all of the above, the 3 things I just mentioned. But as you can see here, students believed that a consequence of using AI dishonestly was hindering their own writing skills development. Next one, how do you perceive the detection of AI-based academic dishonesty? So 46.4% of participants said that it's easily detectable with current technology. 26.8% said that it's difficult to detect unless closely reviewed. 19.6% said it's only detectable if the work is inconsistent with my previous submissions. And 5.4% said that it's not detectable at all. I'm presenting the figures. Josephine will talk about the trends, but in my opinion, this was an interesting finding about how do participants perceive the detection of AI-based academic dishonesty. The majority say it's easily detectable, but then more than 25% say it's difficult to detect. So this is an interesting finding.
5 minutes left.
Yeah. And then what measures do you believe you can prevent AI academic dishonesty in writing? Is provide better support and resources for writing skills. So the students say if you provide better support, that could effectively prevent AI-based academic dishonesty in writing. So now I'm going to pass this to Josephine, and she's going to tell you our findings. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. All right, so just to recap, the main goal of our experiment was to learn more about our students' perspectives on the use of ChatGTP and other generative chat-based type AIs in L2 writing, especially having to do with academic dishonesty. And we wanted to know about their perspectives in order to compare them in order to compare them with our own, as well as to create a point of departure for discussions with our students about the appropriate use of AI. So 5 key insights emerged from our analysis of the data, and those are going to be the focus of my part of the discussion. First, many students do believe that submitting an AI-generated text constitutes academic dishonesty. Secondly, surprisingly few students think that using AI for translation into the target language should be considered cheating, even in the context of a language classroom. Third, a significant percentage of students recognize the intrinsic negative consequences that cheating with AI can present, and this was more than those who only recognized extrinsic consequences like getting in trouble with their teachers. Fourth, many students believe that AI-generated texts are easy to detect, which isn't true, as Andrew was pointing out, and there are a lot of issues with the detection of AI-generated text. And finally, many students see AI as a support to their writing process by providing ideas and inspiration. I'm going to now discuss each of these in detail. So first, we were pleased to discover that many students recognize that turning in a completely AI-generated text is academically dishonest. 25% of students chose this answer as the definition of academic dishonesty, along with 33.9% who chose all of the above, which shows that over half of students know this is cheating. Next, we discovered that few students believe that translating the text into the target language constituted cheating. Only 16.1% reported that using a translator in this way was academically dishonest, in addition to the 33.9% who reported all the above, for a total of 50%. So we can assume that a troubling 50% of students don't think that using translation in this way is cheating, even in a language classroom. Next, we found it encouraging that a significant percentage of students found that, like reported intrinsic negative consequences, like hindering the development of their own writing skills as a consequence. And this was a lot more than those who said, mentioned extrinsic consequences, like getting in trouble with teachers. One aspect where students' opinions really differed from reality was about whether AI-generated text is easy to detect. A lot of students, 46.4% said that it was easy to detect, and that's not really what the research shows. And finally, a little more than a third of students identified using generative AI as a support to their writing process by providing insight and inspiration. So those are the kind of appropriate uses that students identified. And we've got 2 main takeaways for teachers. The first is that it's really necessary to engage students in conversations about academic integrity and the appropriate use of AI and to educate them about it. Obviously, AI is not going away, and we need to help ourselves and our students minimize the benefits minimize the drawbacks and maximize the benefits. We need to also help students be internally motivated to do the right thing by helping them to believe that this kind of over-reliance could interfere with their own learning. And finally, recognizing that a lack of skill sometimes leads to cheating, so that we can, spend more time on those skills that need more help. Suggestions for further research, getting perspectives from other students in other countries with a larger sample size. I think longitudinal studies that can examine the impact of AI in education over time are going to be really important in the near future. Nearish future. And also studying, how we can even shape students' perspectives to get the kind of results that we want with AI in our students. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. 20 minutes. Sharp. Okay. I think we're sort of running out of time, but yeah, we should have finished